And here we are on the final of the 3-part series on my favorite video game introductions. Only 4 left. I just filmed a whole bunch the other day, and so here we are with the last 4, starting with Lemmings. So Lemmings on 3DO was pretty awesome. It starts off with the most basic of levels. You just drop the dudes down and get them to the exit, and that's the whole game. My favorite version is on the 3DO. The PC version, way back in the day, was also pretty epic, but you know, I just have the most memories of playing it on 3DO, so it's the best because that's how brains work, I guess. Let's watch a clip, and then we'll move on from there. Next up, we have X-Men for Sega Genesis. So you start the game with, you're just like in the X-Men base, I guess. I'm not really sure where you're supposed to be because I don't recognize this from anything. So you pick your character from 4 X-Men, and then you go to the Danger Room, which has loaded a simulation of the Amazon jungle. Can't remember what they call it in the show. But you go through there, you know, you fight some simulated baddies. Game is real hard. I remember I got up to a part you cannot get past unless you know the secret. And what you have to do is just like as quick as you can tap the reset button on the console. That will reset most of the data, but remember where you are somehow and then thrust you into the next part. Because I'm playing on an emulator, even if I were to get up to that point, there's no way that I know of that you can trigger this to happen. So, sad day, but it is what it is. This game is brutally hard. It's just ridiculous. And that's how games were back in the day. It was so hard, and your parents only bought you like 2 or 3 games, and you were so good at those games because you had nothing else. The third game on our list is Lethal Enforcers. Now, my favorite is playing it on the arcade machine. I have an arcade machine, I've got guns, and I love Lethal Enforcers. You just shoot the bad guys. Literally, anytime I see a real police officer, I just, in my head, I hear this game. Eat lead, copper! It's, sometimes I scream it inside my car, and one day I'll get in trouble for it, but I'm not scared. Let's have a look at the Sega Genesis version, played with a controller, though. When I was a kid, I had the two handguns and the CRT TV, and me and my brother Chris, we would always play. We would always set the rules up beforehand, like I'll take the left half of the screen, you take the right, or I'll take the top, you take the bottom, and we would just, we memorized every level of that game. We were so good. So good. So this game doesn't have a wicked story or anything, but it's a lot of fun. I have it on the arcade with light guns, but today I'm just going to play with a controller. First level, so good.
Player one.
Player one.
Lead. Rifle. No. Magnum bullet. Shoot.
The final game on our list is for the TurboGrafx 16, or if you know you live over in the other side of the world, I think it was called the PC Engine. So I never had this console, and I am loving having the emulator and playing through the weird games that were on it. So the way I used to play it is we would go to the mall where I grew up, had like a grocery store, a Radio Shack, and what was that third place? Ooh, a Zellers, but before it was Zellers, it was Kmart. And so, like, it was local, we would go there, and walking past Radio Shack, they had like one of those carts with the TV and the game console. They were really pushing the TurboGrafx, and it always had, I think it was the pack-in title, Bonk's Adventure, where you play a caveman, or is he a caveman baby? I don't even know. Anyway, he's got a huge head, and you use that huge head to headbutt your way to victory. It's just silly fun. It's like Mario, but not so Nintendo. It's good. You should play it. Let's have a look. Coffee. So now that we've gone through the last 4 games that have the best introductions or beginning levels to a game that, you know, explains the storyline really well or gets you really familiar with the gameplay mechanics before they thrust you into the harder parts of the game, I think we can cut this shit out for a while. I do have more best of, because there are video game movies that you have to see and video game movies you shouldn't see and video game movies that are so bad but you just cannot look away from. But next week, I will be in Alberta. With my nephew Jonathan. I will be staying at his house and helping him do some renos. I'm hoping to see a bunch of my nephew David and their beautiful girlfriends. And I have some great nephews. Can you believe it? I mean, I was a great uncle before, but now it's legit ×2. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can figure out how to edit videos on my phone, and I'll bring some microphones, and I'll try to get an episode up while I'm out there, because that would just be swell, don't you think? Play some party games, maybe some Jackbox games. Only time will tell. We'll see you next week. Whoosh.